The Israel Defense Forces (IDF) Telegram page announced that the Israeli Air Force has just carried out airstrikes against positions of the armed Islamic movement Hezbollah in Lebanon. Yesterday, an Air Force fighter jet attacked an enemy command center in the Marwahine region of southern Lebanon, the IDF informed. The Israeli army also added that Israeli Special Forces reconnaissance and artillery units also destroyed Hezbollah's anti-tank missile systems in the Yarin village area, near the Lebanon-Israel border. A source in the IDF said that Israel knew in advance about attacks by the U.S. and its allies on Houthi targets in Yemen. And Tel Aviv is preparing to deal with responses from the Houthis. An anonymous source in the Israeli government also said that the country may suffer more attacks from armed Islamic movements linked to Iran in the region in the near future. And in the Gaza Strip, the IDF announced the destruction of the headquarters of Hamas and the movement's command center in the Gaza Strip. Specifically, Israeli combat units instructed the Air Force to target targets, and as a result, many fighters were killed and the headquarters of Hamas was destroyed. There is currently no response from Hamas about the attack. Previously, Israel announced a change of tactics in the campaign in the Gaza Strip. According to IDF spokesman, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, the Israeli army is gradually reducing the number of attacks in the Gaza Strip and Israeli military forces in the area will be reduced. The Israeli military is turning to selective airstrikes against targets of tactical value to Hamas. Previously, the Jerusalem Post wrote that Israel has no intention of occupying the Gaza Strip. After completing the tasks of the military operation, control of the area will be transferred to the local Palestinian authorities. Regarding the Houthis movement in Yemen, according to TASS news agency, this Islamic movement in Yemen has identified U.S. military facilities in the Middle East as legitimate targets. Leader of the movement's political wing Nasreddin Amer declared, "The U.S. presence in the region is illegal. Therefore we consider U.S. military facilities to be legitimate targets." Mr. Nasreddin Amer also threatened that the U.S., UK and other countries participating in the missile attack on Yemen would suffer quick reactions. The presence of U.S. warships in the area cannot be considered a normal situation. The Houthis plan to attack U.S. warships in the Red Sea and Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Meanwhile, Commander of the Combat Command of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff, U.S. Lieutenant General Douglas Sims, said that the coalition was ready to wait for retaliatory attacks from the Houthis and emphasized that there were two waves. Recent airstrikes have not been enough to weaken the Islamic movement in Yemen. Along with the U.S. and its allies, Welt am Sonntag newspaper published that Germany has just announced its intention to send the Hess missile destroyer to the Red Sea to participate in the European Union (EU) mission. If nothing changes, the German warship will arrive in the Red Sea from February 1. EU Foreign Affairs Committee President Josep Borrell called on the Houthis to show restraint to prevent further escalation of the crisis in the Red Sea. He said that the EU wishes to contribute positively to regional stability. The Houthi movement has repeatedly attacked Western ships in the Red Sea. In particular, on December 27, 2023, they shot at the container ship MSC United after the Houthis of the Ansar Allah armed faction issued a warning signal. On January 2, the Houthis continued to launch 2 cruise missiles at a U.S. warship, but missed the target. According to the latest information, U.S. President Joe Biden sent a private message to Iran regarding the Houthis movement. However, the content of the message was not disclosed. "We conveyed this message privately to Iran and emphasized that we are prepared for every possible scenario," the U.S. president emphasized. Currently, the Iranian side has not yet responded to the U.S. statement.